You're basically saying to me that you don't care about the quality of the vehicle that your children and wife drive around in, and you're happy to leave it in a state of disrepair.
Oh no! Oh God! Would you believe it? It's been nearly 6 months since I purchased the fairly cheap L405 Range Rover for my wife, to be her mum car, to be her daily. And the niggles, the problems, the list is starting to mount up. So that is why we are here today at the JLR specialist, Tom Lenthall Limited, to find out how much is it going to cost me to fix. Let's find out, shall we? My name's Ben. Welcome to Dadcars. Right, so Tom, thank you so much for having us in today. This is my wife's L405 Range Rover. What do you think?
Our family vehicle is a Range Rover, and I just think it's the best thing for the job. No, I am slightly biased, but I also believe I'm right and correct.
Look, I've always been indifferent to Range Rovers, never wanted one. You know, I'm more of a slow down, lightweight sports car guy, but I have to admit, this is glorious. But how much do you think I paid for that?
I was about to say, you say cheap, you know, they're not, there's nothing cheap about these. They're always a few quid, although they're a lot cheaper to get into than they were before. So
Yes.
15k?
Yeah, 15 grand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
We did actually pay 15 grand for it. And I honestly thought I'd buy this in 6 months, it would break down a dozen times. I'd have, like, you know, invoice bills like the sky high and all the rest of it. But
you need to stay on top of these cars and look after them regardless of the brand. But yeah, this type of car you really need to, because you know you can end up in a situation where it needs a set of brakes, it needs some suspension work, the tyres are done. Before you know where you are, you've spent like 4 grand.
Wow.
Which is a big chunk.
Well,
you know, how much
this isn't what I want to hear, because I've come to you today with literally a list.
Yes.
Literally a list of, so it's not broken down, it's not left us stranded, but the niggles are mounting up.
You got minor faults.
I asked my wife last night, you know, she said, oh, you're taking it to Tom Lenthall. He is like a Range Rover wizard, isn't he? Let me give you the list of all the things that annoy me about the car.
Have you found out things about this car that you didn't know?
Well, yeah, she's told me stuff which I don't know, because I don't drive this every day. She drives it all the time.
it's her daily drive.
So the first thing, this is quite funny, it's such like a non-car enthusiast list of sort of gripes of the car as well.
It's a totally different thing. I get it,
But number one is Mr. Flappy.
Mr. Flappy.
Yeah. Can I show you what Mr. Flappy is?
What's Mr. Flappy?
Right.
Go on. What's that all about?
I mean, look, wonderful spec, isn't it? Autobiography, panoramic sunroof.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Look. There, that is Mr. Flappy. Is that going to cost me 4 grand to fix?
No.
Let me just quickly show you this video, and I'll put it up for people to watch and to see as well. What is that? Can you explain to us what this is? What's happening?
Mr. Flappy.
It's what?
Mr. Flappy!
What do you mean, Mr. Flappy? No, it's just...
He's our friend.
It's a broken blind.
He's our friend. Mr. Flappy.
We're going to have to get it fixed so that Mr. Flappy's gone forever.
I now think it's a feature that you can't remove.
So I'll tell them that Tom Lenthall said that the best solution is just to leave it.
I'll price it up. Let's do the exercise.
Yeah.
Let's price it up.
By the end of this video, you will price up all of the things that we go through.
And if you think it's value for money, then only you can be the one to make the decision.
Okay, perfect. Okay, right, let's move on to number 2, and we'll start rattling through these a bit quicker as well. My wife tells me, I haven't experienced this myself, but she tells me that sometimes when you try to put the driver's side seatbelt in, sometimes it pops out.
Yeah, it'll be the buckle.
Okay.
It'll just need a new buckle.
Next one is quite a big one. It's annoying. It did it this morning on my way over to you.
Yeah.
It feels to me like this start-stop button sometimes feels like it gets a bit stuck.
Yeah.
But the issue is that sometimes it starts the fire and up sequence, but then it just cuts and doesn't fire up the engine.
I think it's going to be a button.
It's going to do it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll go, and then you'll have to press it, take your foot off the brake, foot on the brake.
We can test it, but I suspect it will be a button.
Next is, this is a funny one, okay? So my wife genuinely said this to me last night. She said that the alloy to tyre ratio on this car is wrong. In her X5, the tyre came out further than her alloy, so that she couldn't actually curb her wheels in her X5. Basically, she's saying to you that a problem with this car is that it's easy to curb. It made me laugh last night when she said it, and then so I said, "I'm going to tell
You
Tom
can always
that."
try learning to drive.
Yeah, I told her.
Were you brave enough to actually?
I said to her, I said, "I'm going to tell him that," and people in the comments will criticise her as well.
No. I'm sure I'll take the flack. It's fine.
In fairness to her, you know, she's got 4 kids. We live in a city.
It's a big car.
Yeah. That's it. It's a big car.
If it makes you feel any better, or makes your wife feel any better, I have curbed the wheels on my Range Rover before now.
Oh,
so it doesn't. You
know what? You've redeemed yourself there.
Yeah. So I have done it myself, and I've gone. Damn it.
And she's constantly doing club runs and school runs and all sorts of stuff in the city. So
it is easily done, but
there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah. I can't improve her driving style. Sorry.
That's fair enough. So one of the jets, screen wash jets on the front.
That'll probably just want unblocking or replacing, one of the two.
And the final one that she said, I didn't know this. She said to me last night, she said that she can't find the radio stations that she wants.
Right.
Now, there's probably that I just need to figure out how to do it and tell her how to do it.
I think what we need to do is station search, see what we get, see if there's a problem with the signal coming in, and if it's all okay, then it's education.
It's education.
Education.
For me to actually read the manual.
Yeah, read the manual.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
okay.
That's it, yeah.
Now we move on to 3 issues that I've identified, which I think are essential that we look at. Number 1 is there's a buzzing sound, and you notice it when you're going from idle to, and the revs just lift up.
So you're just increasing the RPM a little bit, yeah.
Hang on.
I think I just heard it. Yeah, okay. We need to get it on the ramp and we need to tune into it. And once we've tuned into it, then we can try and pin it down.
Yeah, the next one, it happened on our trip up to Scotland. Every single light popped up on the dash. So it was like ABS, IEB, traction control, stability control, HTC, suspension fault warning light, all of that stuff came up.
Yeah, we'll see what the fault code is. I'm thinking wheel speed sensor or some sort of CAN glitch. The trouble is with module and network faults is, unless they're faulting for us at this present moment in time, it's really, really difficult for us to pin it down and diagnose it.
So the other issue, about 5 weeks ago, I noticed that the coolant was low. So I topped it up. Yeah. And then about a month passed, and then the coolant light actually came up on the dash.
Yep.
And then I checked again, and the coolant had gone back down, and I needed to top it up again.
Okay, so you got a slight leak. Well, we can pressure test it and have a look around. We'll find the leak, that's all right, no problem.
Okay, those are the important ones. Also as well, like I say, it is quite a long list of niggles. Yeah. So just real quickly then, so the passenger side wing mirror camera isn't working.
That'll need a camera.
There's a rattle coming from the back box.
Oh, exhaust, yeah.
From the exhaust.
Yeah. That's listen to
that. So should we hop in and go for a quick test drive?
Yeah, let's go for a quick test drive, and then we're going to get a tech on it and go through all these bits and pieces.
Yeah, what do you think of our 6-seat Range Rover then?
I think the child seat in the back, the four berth child seat's really cool. I've never seen that before. That is quite impressive.
I'm hoping that they are going to retrim this in matching ivory level with the stitching and everything. Because they could do that. Multivac could do it. It's amazing.
Can they really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
In fact, they sell a lot of those to Range Rover owners.
One of the things that you spoke to me about earlier was getting the speedo so that it read in the middle, so you actually, rather in digits rather than in the.
Oh yes, yeah. Sorry, so I mentioned that earlier on, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I find annoying.
Yeah, and it's not there.
Yeah, so that is annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just because it's an early car. Later cars.
Yeah. So So that's
not. I've had worse problems. Okay. I mean, to be fair, it's not really the end of the world, is it? Yeah. So this is the thing I'm finding interesting about this is because this is an early model. Although it's still a great car, there's things that I would expect to see,
but you're not seeing.
I'm not seeing, even for an autobiography. So I'm running around in a 17-plate autobiography at the moment.
Yeah.
And the equipment level is like 4 or 5 years down the line compared to this is a lot higher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a 4.4 as well?
It's 4.4. Yeah. I always buy the 4.4s. Yeah. why have a V6 when you can have a V8? You know what I mean?
Oh, no, absolutely.
you know.
This is an interesting question for you, actually. It was sort of sidetracking a little bit here. The only thing in hindsight, I kind of wish is that I'd just gone for it and bought a 5 litre supercharged petrol. How much extra and how much more, like, you know, maintenance and cost and stuff would you actually say from this if you had one of those?
Okay, that's a good
in
question.
the real world?
A diesel is more expensive to service than a petrol.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, you've got to understand that I don't care what Range Rover or Land Rover say that their engines only need servicing every 16 to 20,000 miles or whatever the service interval is.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Change
Service
your
it more.
Oh, God, yeah. You're in a good era here. You know, you haven't got the AdBlue problem. You haven't got these. You know, the emission stuff was quite kind to the engine as well.
Yeah.
But
so in terms of, you know, reliability and maintenance and things, would you say that there's a big difference between the two? You know, excluding fuel, which we need to grab some.
which we need to guess. It's very easy to say that the petrol car we don't end up repairing so much.
Okay.
So therefore, it's more reliable. But I
there's
think,
less of them.
I think the
right?
reality is we see a lot less of them because most people buy the diesel.
Yeah.
They're par on par.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and I
interesting.
think, you know, and I think that the petrol is a much more fun car to drive as long as your wallet can stomach the fuel economy.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the bottom line.
That's interesting. Yeah.
No. Come off it.
Right. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Have you managed to get the radio working?
The radio works.
Okay. So it's all right, is it?
If you like greatest hits.
Has it got DAB?
You ain't got DAB.
Yeah.
How can you not have DAB on an autobiography?
It's mad, right?
Yeah, well, like I said, it's an early car.
Yeah. You've no doubt noticed already. Something the list was so long that I forgot to mention
The
it as
list
well.
was so long.
But the other thing is, when I first got this, like nearly 6 months ago, it was the floating magic carpet dream that I'd always heard of. Something's gone wrong because the ride quality now doesn't feel as refined as what I remember at the start.
Yeah.
That's not.
Well,
not
look,
great,
as soon as we came out of the industrial estate and we got speed bumps there, we hit the speed bump, I can hear a clonk from the front suspension. I also know that your steering wheel is not straight.
Oh yeah. The track is way out, isn't it?
Yeah.
I noticed it really badly on the way up here.
Yeah. I'm like, that's, you know. So, and I'll be interested to see what the tyre wear's like. I think that this car needs a suspension repair, without a doubt. And I want to see what the tyres are like, and it needs a full alignment.
Yes.
And I think you'll get a lot of that back.
Okay, the full alignment, that's definitely on me. That is definitely a me job that I should have done. I just haven't done it because I don't actually drive this very often. I noticed that.
You have a lot of excuses about not driving this car, Ben. Have you noticed that? You know, it's like you don't.
I don't drive
it's like you're basically saying to me that you don't care about the quality of the vehicle that your children and wife drive around in and out, and you're happy to leave it in a state of disrepair.
Oh no! Oh God!
That's what you're saying to me.
That is definitely getting cut out of this video. I do feel very
bad now.
I feel very exposed and I feel very shamed. But this is a medicine that I need to take like a big boy. I do. Thing is I noticed it's bad because I noticed that like a couple of months ago
a couple of months ago.
Yeah, and I just it wasn't literally driving up here this morning. I was like, oh yeah, Jesus. Tom
I need to do something about that.
God, yeah. So me failing to get the wheel alignment done on our primary family car for a couple of months, that's embarrassing for me, very embarrassing. Although my saving grace is that when we checked the tyres, there was no signs of uneven wear. I am good at regularly checking tyres. However, the embarrassment of this has finally made me pull my finger out and do something which I've been meaning to do with this car for nearly 6 months. And that's fitting a dash cam. Sponsorship of this video was my idea. I went to Nextbase and said to them, look, send me a dash cam because I reckon the petrol head parents that are watching, this is the sort of sponsorship that they want to see on the Dadcars channel. So I'm now going to quickly fit this Nextbase Pico to the Range Rover. And there you have it, in all of 5 minutes. This car is now protected. I've got the peace of mind because the primary family car has got a dash cam in it. And within that time, I was even able to poke the cable in so that it's completely out of view for the driver. And I think if I give it a bit more time, I'll be able to make that cable disappear altogether. So if your family car, if your dad car doesn't have a dash cam at the moment, don't be like me, don't put it off any longer. Use my link in the description below and grab yourself. I mean, a Pico is £99. And by the time you've got an SD card, it's still going to be cheaper than a tank of fuel. So don't put it off. And use promo code Dadcars to save 15% off your order. Get your phone out, scan this QR code, or click the link in the description below. Right, let's get back to Tom Lenthall Limited, where we're about to find out that that minor coolant leak is going to be a costly repair.
But on the positive side, you know, I haven't noticed any harshness in the gearbox. That's all.
Does it seem okay to you?
Nothing has stood out to me. What size wheels have you got on this car? Are they 21s or 22s or?
I think they're 22s.
Yeah. So I always take those off and put 20s on mine.
Okay.
Because you just get that little bit more air between you and the road.
Could in doing that, could it be possible as well to get the better proportion of alloy 2 tyre so that the tyre... Is there like a bit of potential there so
due
that
to the fact the sidewall of the tyre is larger, there is less risk of curving the wheel.
So that could actually be something...
Yeah. My Range Rovers always go down to the 20s.
Yes.
Yeah, although I have to confess, the ones on Megs at the moment are 21s, but they've got the bigger tyres on it, and they're right. It's not bad.
That is the biggest thing that she says to me as well, because occasionally she'll say, "Oh, I scratched the wheel again today." It really annoys. Like it makes that car more stressful than the X5 now that I know how easy it is to do the wheels. So if we're getting a better ride quality overall, and also it's reducing the curbage anxiety, then it's only going to be a good thing, isn't it? Yeah.
But, you know, when you give it the beans, it's all right. Nothing this gearbox is doing is making me think that it's got excessive wear and a problem.
Okay.
Which is good. It's good news. It's good news, Ben.
Yeah, no, it is good news. And honestly, I'm kicking myself that I didn't just get the flipping wheel alignment done.
If you do an alignment and then it's still not right, and then you find out there's play in the suspension, a lot of the suspension components you have to replace or may have to replace will require you to do an alignment again. So you're you're spending the money twice.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, these washer jets are terrible.
Yeah, they are bad, aren't they?
Yeah, they can do a lot better than that.
Washer jets, you know, things like this, not expensive. What potentially stop buttons?
That's not expensive. No.
And obviously suspension components. That's not going to cost me much, is it, Tom?
No. They're not. Look, most of the suspension bits on JLR product is Lenthall, and you can go and buy Lenthall. You know, so original equipment parts for an awful lot less than what they cost in the main dealer.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So it's the exact same part, it just doesn't come in the box with
we have generally 3 different types of parts that we use. So we will use main dealer, genuine, and then we use OE, so original equipment. So in suspension terms, it's Lenthall. And then you've got aftermarket, which is basically a copy of the original. There's good quality aftermarket, and then there's bad quality aftermarket, and you know, and it's we have the experience mainly through trial and error. I hasten to add of what aftermarket products are worth buying and what aren't. So yeah, I like this car. Nothing about it is overly scaring me.
Okay,
we just need to get it on the ramp now and then find out the reality.
Yeah, excellent. So all in, you reckon tens of pounds, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. No, nothing's. I say nothing is scaring me at the moment.
Okay.
So out of interest, what would you expect to have to spend on a running cost of a car like this per year?
Going into this, I expected that it would be for servicing and maintenance around £3,000 a year.
Okay, well you're actually, you know what, that's a really, that's good.
Yeah, because
some people think they can run these for £500 a year. Honestly,
no. I think that's when you get the older models that are up for like £1,000, and then so someone buys it unknowingly and takes it in and finds out that it needs like £8,000 spent on it because it's had all the deferred maintenance.
I think you're being realistic.
This is what I always say to people who watch my channel as well. You know, if you're going to buy a car like this and you can't comfortably afford to spend £3,000 in maintenance
Yeah,
and servicing, then don't buy one.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Same as if
that's really, really good advice.
So Tom then handed us over to one of his top techs, Steve, who started working through the rather long list of issues that we had with the Range Rover. But all hopes of the coolant leak being something small and quick soon vanished.
Right, Steve, I just see you smiling at me there. Have you found something?
I have. Right, so there's a lot of coolant staining around the bell housing,
Okay.
which is obviously coming from the centre of the V.
Right.
Unfortunately, I don't know if you can see up in there, that's your EGR cooler up there.
Right.
It's going to be quite a major job to strip that out, but it's going to have to be done.
Okay.
Okay.
Major job. So what were you saying, as in like labour-wise, it's a major job to do to get to it, is it?
It is, yeah. If it's just a cooler itself, it's not so bad. If it's the EGR unit underneath, so that's a lot longer to get that out.
Okay.
Yeah, that is quite a bit of work.
Sorry it's so dirty as well, Steve.
No, that's all right.
To be honest, is it annoying when customers bring in cars that are just disgustingly dirty? Is it annoying?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It is, yeah. I apologise.
No, not at all.
Is it like someone going in to see like the doctors and then like not showering for a couple of days?
Well, it could be a little bit like that, I suppose. Yeah. Your discoveries are normally worse.
Yeah, okay.
You know, they're full of horse feed and hay and
yeah. Normally, Range Rover owners treat their cars a bit better than what we do. Is that what you're saying?
Normally they do.
Right, so Tom, now is the painful part, isn't it?
It's a bit you, hey? It's a bit I like. It's great.
I know. But massive thank you to Steve, though.
Me and Steve are both big on Jaguars, to be perfectly honest. But
Yeah. I've still never owned one. Still never owned a Jag.
I thought you spoke to me about getting one.
Yeah, well, I wanted an XJ Super Sport, didn't I?
Yeah. You've never owned a Jag.
Never owned a Jag, no. Maybe I'm thinking like a £5,000, Jag at some point for me. Just feels like a no-brainer. Go and take it on some trips.
Get a nice E-Type or something like that. Might have one for you. Don't I?
For £5,000.
Not for 5.
Right, we're getting sidetracked because
The conclusion of a day's work is what this
yes.
is.
Well, look, what it is, this is the conclusion of if you buy a fairly cheap L405 Range Rover, and then after 6 months, everybody was saying, "Oh, it's going to break down every other week. It's going to spend more time in the garage than it is, you driving it around." So
I actually think this list isn't too bad.
Yeah. Look, it's quite a long list.
Yeah.
But that just goes, look, I'm trying to preempt things. I'm trying to do preventative maintenance.
I've seen much worse lists than this. Should we start going through it?
Yeah, okay.
Right. So, at the top of our list was investigate buzzing noise at light throttle. And it turned out it was just a heat shield on one of the cats. It was a little bit loose. We've tightened that up and adjusted it, and noise has gone away. So, a quick, easy fix, no problem. Investigate small coolant leak. Now, you have got coolant leaking. It is only a small leak, and it seems to be coming from the centre of the engine, like in the middle of the V.
Yeah.
We will not know until we dig down in there and get to it because we can't see it.
And get into it, 20-minute job.
Yeah. 20-minute job to get to it. Once we expose a couple of things, we'll know. And that 20-minute job, in your eyes, in our eyes, is £720 worth of labour. Because in actual fact, it's quite it's a 5-6 hour job, It's a big job. Next one on our list was the camera not working on the near side door mirror, which is obviously a huge problem. Because stops the car from driving, etc., etc. I think this is probably why your missus has curved the wheels so many times, obviously, because that camera.
Because of that.
It's because of that.
It's not her fault.
It's not her fault. It's because that camera's not working.
Yeah.
The new one's £400 plus VAT. Mr. Flappy, to sort out Mr. Flappy, we've got to drop the headlining and further investigation. I've done this before for customers. I've had it where I said, right, I bought in a new part and I've got the part sat there. We take the headlining down. If we need it, use it. Or if we don't use it, we send it back. Couple of £300 worth of labour plus whatever you have to pay for a blind. And I haven't got a price for that today because I couldn't find it on the parts fish, and I need to let you know what it is, but I will come back to you on that.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Seatbelt buckle, brand new one is £100 plus VAT. It's £120, and they're dead easy to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, so get a seatbelt buckle.
Yeah. We'll do that.
Yeah, I think you should do that. Start button. We've data logged the starter button, and of course, typically, it's working, it's fine. Does it sound like the starter motor is starting to engage?
Yeah, 100%.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
And then
So-
it just stops. You get the first like,
Yeah.
and then it just stops.
It's something that could end up letting you down.
Wow, this is the problem because it happened once with my wife,
Yeah.
and she was convinced. She was like, the car's not working, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
she's like, I need to take the kids to gymnastics,
Yeah.
and then I came out, and then it did it for me a couple of times. Got in and out, locked the car, got back in, and then it did do it. And then
Yeah.
it
So my next port of call would be, right, those big power cables going from the battery, going to the starter motor, I want to check them, and I want to make sure that all those connections are tight and that they're not corroded. And I also want to check the earth off of the engine, i.e. that high power circuit,
yeah.
to make sure that there's not something on there that's causing me a problem. That would definitely be my next port of call.
When we book it back
Yeah.
to get
That's it,
that.
yeah. Front screen washer jet's not working properly. Well, again, look, I was actually surprised. They're £29.40 each for brand new genuine ones, plus VAT. So
Okay.
75 quid or whatever it is for a pair, and they take 10 minutes to fit. Thought it'd be more than that, to be perfectly honest.
You resisted the temptation to just round it up to 100 then.
Yeah. Well, I've got to fit them.
That's it. Yeah.
Let's just call it a one event. Come on, it makes sense.
Come on, yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Again, it's a safety thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, £100. Yeah, you spend the money.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. The IP not reading the speedo in digits that we spoke about. Now, my Range Rover does this, and my wife's Range Rover does it.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Steve about it. There are a couple of updates available, so maybe we could update it and it'll come on. And I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if that's a definite.
How long does it take to install
He said about
that?
3 or 4 hours to install, which I'm.
Does that ever go wrong when you're doing it?
Yes, it does. So
See, that's what worries me. And then
yeah,
what
I
happens
know,
if it goes wrong?
It's like,
I've done it on my phone and halfway through it's stopped for some reason and it bricked my phone and I lost all the files.
This
on it.
isn't a car industry problem. This is a technology problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't know for whatever reason, if my Wi-Fi drops out in the middle of an update, that's bad.
Yeah.
Because we've had modules get corrupted and then be thrown away because of it. I've had £1,500 touchscreens in cars when we were updating them go wrong, and then you have to put another screen in it. So if it's not essential for an update, I'd leave it alone. Investigate rattle from exhaust back box. Yes, there is definitely something in the exhaust back box rattling around. It is quite annoying,
But
the reward isn't big enough for the amount of work that's required, so I'd live with it. There was a knot from the front suspension.
yeah.
That is what we call the ACE bushes or anti-roll bar D-rubbers on the front. Again, they're not expensive. They're like 80 quid for a pair, and it's an hour and a half to fit them, I think, around that sort of stuff. So you're going to be looking at around about 250 quid, 300 quid.
Okay.
And then I would strongly recommend a full alignment as well. And it's 120 quid, I think, now for us to do a full alignment.
Okay.
So call it 450 worst case scenario of suspension work to do.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was when the DAB, the module.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I didn't realise this, that when the DAB drops out, i.e. has a fault, it doesn't come up as an icon on the display.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I was really surprised at that. XFs, I've done a lot of DAB modules
Okay.
because they get water ingress and they go wrong because of that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. The DAB module for your vehicle,
Have you got a quote for how much it's going to cost for the part?
yes,
Okay.
just the part
Yeah.
is £783 plus VAT, sir.
Oh, God. So it's basically £1,000.
It's £1,000. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What I should do is probably
I-
just
I-
cut this part out of my video and tell my wife that it doesn't have DAB.
Yeah. That's
reckon
it.
I should
Look, there's no icon for it. Don't know why.
Just say there's no icon. Yeah,
it's
Tom said it's-
pre-production car. They just didn't
It's because
bother,
it's one of those early ones.
Yeah, that's
I'm
it.
sorry,
Yeah,
love,
yeah,
but it doesn't have
exactly.
DAB.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty.
So I wouldn't pay that kind of money for
No,
a
I
module
don't think that's
personally.
worth
I
it.
would go and try and find a second-hand one and see if we can program a second-hand one. Multiple warnings on the dashboard when you're in Scotland driving. It's not faulting at the moment, and we've got nothing to go on.
I do have a record. I've screenshot it on my phone somewhere. I just can't find it right this second. But what I'll do is I'll find those fault codes and I'll email them over
Yeah,
to you.
we need to know what codes came up, basically.
Yeah, I mean the good news is they've not come back. But then, if there is actually something physical,
Yeah,
it could just
as we
be
said
changed.
earlier, if there's like a wheel speed sensor on its way out,
Yeah.
and it gives us a code for it, and it's like they're cheap to buy. You can get them, aftermarket or OE
Yeah.
for 40 quid, 50 quid, just whack one in.
Yeah,
it's not
might as
worth
well.
not worth messing around.
Yeah.
So far, I think there's like 3 or 4 essential jobs. So there's 1,300-1,400 quid in that.
Okay.
Of spends, yeah. You bought it at a very good price. You've got to accept that, you're going to get a few bits and pieces on this. I don't think you've got anything overly dramatic here. I would say it's standard maintaining and keeping your car going stuff.
What would you reckon somewhere in the region of it would cost if I went to JLR for that?
Probably per at least 2.5 to 3 grand, I would have said the main dealer. So I broadly base my business on being half the labour costs as the main dealer.
The parts cost is the parts cost.
Look, if I'm using main dealer parts, certain things we can't get away from, then there's going to be no saving. Yeah, but I will go and look for second-hand stuff. I will look for OE equipment at much better prices, quality aftermarket stuff at much better prices, and if required, scale the second-hand market.
Yeah, well, and I think this is just the point. As we're coming to a close of this video, I just want to point out really is that, you hear these scary things with these cars because these were £100,000 new cars and the parts are priced accordingly. And when you go take it to JLR and you make a warranty claim, it's like, oh my God, that would have cost 12 grand or whatever. Yeah. A lot of people then get scared when they see a Range Rover that's cheap. But what this proves, I think, is when you find a really good independent specialist like yourself, is this can be done. Obviously, you can't buy a car like that and run it for 500 quid a year. Like,
no,
maintenance, because you're just going to forward the problem onto somebody else, or you're going to have a nightmare at some point.
All you're going to do is end up being disappointed. Know the right people, or you've met the right specialist. It doesn't have to cost a mortgage, repayment to get your car serviced, all the rest of it.
Yeah, no, totally, and that's what I'm always sort of talking about on this channel, really, and that's what I'm hoping to sort of show I'm doing now. Is I'm preempting all of this stuff. I'm not waiting till the end of the year to get things done. I came in today. We'll get the essential stuff done here.
The other thing I would really say about, particularly with your channel and what you do, why did I buy a Range Rover? Yeah, for my wife. Yeah, I bought a Range Rover for my wife because I had 2 young kids. Part of my buying decision of going down the Range Rover route with the kids was peace of mind.
Yes.
For that type of peace of mind.
My wife's in the same position, like her actually sort of being in something that's as significant as that, with the good visibility as well, so she can see stuff, things that are happening ahead of her.
She just can't see curbs.
She can't see curbs, yeah. Oh God, I hope she doesn't watch this video. But we did also talk about that as well, didn't we? Potentially, it's 21s that it sits on.
It's on 21s, well, that's not so bad.
So I don't think it's that bad, and I think there is quite a lot there. But I just, I don't know. I might keep an eye out and see if I can see some 20s. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get a date in the calendar for me to come back and get all of this stuff done. That's fabulous. And if there's anybody watching who has got a Jaguar, who has got a Land Rover, Range Rover, how would be the best way for them to reach out to you guys?
It's literally give us a phone call or send us an email, and we'll just get in touch with us that way, and we'll get you in a diary. Don't Instagram me, don't DM me, because there's too many forms of communication in my life now.
Okay.
So send us an email or just give us a phone call.
Okay, that's fab. What I will do though is I will put all of your socials and everything as well. Because you've got a YouTube channel, you've got your
we do a little bit of
Instagram,
YouTube,
and you do some cool stuff on there. But I'll also link to your website, and so you've got all your contact details and everything below as well. But thank you so much, Tom.
No worries. It's all right, no problem.
It's been a fun day. Thank you for this.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like and comment below. And in the meantime, why don't you check out this video here?